So now I'm going to go directly into my feedback and autopsy of the 2023 season. So firstly, I don't get around in the industry much these days, so I had to obtain information from various people. So thank you to everyone who supplied feedback. So there's a lot of random general comments. They maybe generalizations, but and maybe we've missed stuff. But I'm just going to read through it, and we'll see how this sets the scene. So climate, we've heard from Carolina's speech that has a major impact on the production and post-harvest aspects of fruit, of quality. This season here started with a fairly wet spring, followed by some summer cut-off lows, some with devastating hail effects in the Langkloof and Ceres regions, and to a lesser extent, Elgin. The colder weather and rain improved the color intensity of the later red and blushed apple varieties. We'll be hearing more about the climate in Albert de Vries's presentation, and then there's also another presentation following which links pre-harvest conditions with post-harvest outcomes. So we leave it there for now. Let's go on to stone fruit, starting with apricots. The quality of apricots was very good this year. Fruit was exceptionally clean with a good eating quality. Sizing was on the small side. Nectarines and peaches. The start of the 22-23 stone fruit season was reported as one of the more challenging starts to a season. Due to insufficient winter chill combined with cool spring conditions, early season peaches and nectarines had a lot of quality issues, mainly due to fruit being smaller and more pointed than normal. TSS levels were also very marginal in some areas and did not always meet client specifications. This, combined with the Cape Town port strike, caused a lot of headaches, and this resulted in quite a lot of fruit being diverted to the local market. More specifically, decay was evident in the earlier part of the season due to the wetter than normal weather. There was a huge problem with moisture loss and shriveling in nectarines and peaches. There were internal browning problems on fire pearl, white flesh nectarines, and in one case, August red nectarines. Polar light early season white flesh nectarines had soft and black tips, which turned to decay. Royal spring early season yellow flesh nectarines had skin cracking upon arrival. There were also high levels of soft and bruised collapsed tips upon arrival after shipping. As the season progressed into mid-season varieties, the overall quality of peaches and nectarines improved. However, the occurrence of post-harvest decay throughout the season remained a concern. Shipping delays as well as rain during February placed a lot of pressure on the quality of late-season nectarines. Now we move on to plums. Shriveling, as usual, was the main defect on plums. Ruby Sun, in particular, was reported to be susceptible, probably due to good color development and being harvested too early. The earlier part of the season, being wetter than normal, resulted in some decay. The quality of plums in terms of sugars and color was good this season, resulting in fewer claims, and prices were good. There were some issues with delays in the port affecting the quality outturn. Maybe see the light's not to the best here, but overall quality of plums was very good this year, and the fruit ate very well due to high sugar levels. There were some incidences of internal browning on Fortune and Letitia due to heat damage, but it was less severe than the last season. Shipping delays during February also contributed to quality issues developing because of fruit arriving at the end of its protocol. However, due to lower volumes, fruit was sold very quickly. Let's go on to pome fruit, pears. The summer pears ripened earlier and rapidly and had a very short shelf life. Storage quality of pears was thus lower this season. The consequence of this was a drop in pressures, there was mealiness and yellowing. Internal browning was found in early Boncretian, Selina, and to a lesser extent, Abata Fattel. Summer pears developed some of these issues even after being treated with 1-MCP. Peckham's Triumph and Forel also ripened earlier than expected. In some cases, Forel struggled to reach FEMA release, but then the pressures dropped rapidly in spite of the 1-MCP treatment. Yellowing and cork spot were also issues. In some cases, the color in Forel was advancing even before the release date. Apples, as with pears, apples also ripened earlier and rapidly, leading to a shorter harvest window. Comment from EGVV, low and falling pressures were observed in gala types. The advanced starch conversions caught out most producers and they started to harvest a week too late. They never caught up. It was the same trend as last year, but worse. I've personally noticed from the maturity point of view that starch conversion lagged behind the other parameters in some cases, and I'll expand that when I do my summary. Okay, high nitrogen levels in some cases created a perfect storm for bitterpit development. Bitterpit and lenticel spot were prominent in Panorama Golden, probably due to mixed maturity and strip picking. And in big bucks, due to high color development, resulting in the difficulty of gauging maturity. Bitterpit and lenticel spot also occurred on gala types and Braeburn. The standard Braeburn strain was reported to be of poor quality in the Langkloof. Juice plants in the EGVV were flooded with apples and pears and they struggled to handle the volume. It is still early days for the later apple varieties. Firmness was generally lower than normal and fruit was more susceptible to bruising as seen in the harvest bins, in the pack houses and from market feedback. Because the fruit matured so quickly, there is an increased risk of other progressive defects such as water core and internal browning in Pink Lady later in the season. Load shedding and cooling, I'm not going to say too much here. There is a presentation later on this topic. It is, however, pleasing to see that some pack houses had sufficient strategies to alleviate this problem and did not need to resort to the temperature dispensation that was obtained. Also pleasing was the strong focus in the industry on ethylene management strategies, including scrubbing and 1-MCP applications. The logistics, there were the usual challenges in the port this season, with the wind being a major factor in January and February, affecting stone fruit and early pears. Okay, that's my feedback.